Little 50 Cent, if I can't do it, I can't do it. All right, so every now and then, I don't like to just go over like what the uh, topic of the day is. Sometimes, a lot of times, in the old days, rather, I would do theme-based shows. I would start, I'd talk about like a couple news things, and I would do a theme-based show, right? And in recent years, I've turned more into like, let's talk about what's going on. But I was thinking, because I had to fill up a week of programming, um, what would be a great topic to kind of piss people off? So here's the topic I got. So I was thinking, and I was watching highlights, and I might have been talking to DJ Chase, but the NBA has had some incredible duos, incredible combinations. Batman and Robin, if you will. Some cases, Superman and Batman. I don't know any other duos. I don't know. But in the case of the NBA, there are some duos that stand out to us. Now, I didn't go back to the 60s. I didn't go back to the 50s because I could have went with Jerry West and Chamberlain, or Jerry West and Elgin Baylor. I could have went with Frazier and Malone, Monroe. I could have went with Frazier and Reid. I thought about Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars. I thought about I eliminated the Celtics because they had more of a team. I eliminated Shaq and Penny Hardaway because of, Shaq is in this conversation. So, here's the kicker, kids. In the history of the NBA, if you look at Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, LeBron James and D Wade, and LeBron's had some, he's had D Wade, he had Kyrie, he had Anthony Davis. He also had LaVar Ball. We're not going to go there. He had D Wade. Kareem and Magic, and Mike and Scotty. Gary Payton, and I for sake of argument, I'll put Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. I'll put Stockton and Malone in there. There's only one duo head and shoulders better than all of them. That's Shaq and Kobe. And you're like, what? What? Let me tell you something. Shaq and Kobe averaged basically 30 points on Shaq's side, 28 points on Kobe's side in their time together. Michael and Scotty, Michael averaged 30, Scotty averaged 19. Magic and Kareem, Magic averaged 19, Kareem averaged 23. LeBron and Wade, LeBron averaged 25, Wade averaged 20. I couldn't get the exact, so which tells me that tells me Steph carried the buttload of it, but Steph averaged 52 points. Steph and Klay averaged 52 combined. You won't find another duo like Shaq and Kobe ever again. First of all, and if you carve out Shaq from 98 to about 2004, there will never be a player that comes close to what he did on the basketball court. This freakishly large man. There was a lot of big guys. Don't forget, what was his name? Mike Wakandi, something like that. He was a big guy. There are a lot of big guys in basketball. But the fact that you look at somebody like Shaq and what he was able to do, and people go, oh, Shaq was just fat. No. Shaq could face you, then hit you with a spin around. You look at Shaq, and you look at the centers today, Shaq would have debodied and destroyed the league today. And you take someone like Kobe, right? And I know, Kobe just stole Jordan's thing. Fair. But I'm here to tell you right now, Kobe Bryant was not going to be denied. If you face Shaq and Kobe, you got to put your emphasis on Shaq, which allows Kobe Bryant to do whatever he wants. You want him to hit a three, he'll hit a three. You want him to get to the basket, he'll hit a basket. Not like, here's the thing, Clay and Steph, there is no mid-range game. Their game is outside the three-point line. And if you miss, Shaq, Kobe get rebounds, it's ball game. And I'm like, well, Brian, you comparing their team? No, what I'm saying is if you take Shaq and Kobe, just them two, you take Mike and Scott, just those two, Magic and Kareem, just those two, LeBron and Wade, just those two, Clay and Steph, just those two. Put them with any combination of team, Shaq and Kobe still come out on top. Period. Point blank. If you find a way to keep Shaq from getting his numbers, right? Now you got to stop Kobe from getting his. Kobe and Shaq can guard. Here's the thing, and I know you're like, well, Shaq can guard Scott. He really don't got to. Just come to the basket and see. Shaq played against those guys. They weren't giving him the business. In fact, Shaq beat Scottie Pippen in the playoffs. The young Shaquille O'Neal, and then later again when he got to the Trailblazers. This argument doesn't have to have a ton of logic. All right, we don't need to do matchups. We're just talking pure skill, pure aura, pure dominance. And those two dominated. They didn't dominate more because they had their own squabbles. But imagine the Shaq and Kobe, where they don't have to love each other, but they have the same camaraderie as Pippen and Jordan, Magic and Kareem, right? They don't stop winning, in my opinion. Spurs got over on them in 2003. You know, I think Lakers were just tired at that point. But in my opinion, if Shaq and Kobe were able to they didn't have all that animosity with each other, they walk away with 5 or 6, maybe 7 championships. I feel like that. I feel like they could have won in 99. They could have won in 2000, 2001, 2002. They could have won in 2003. Think about how great they were. When they put the Nets with the back-to-back finals. Same team. When they played the Lakers, they got swept. When they played the Spurs, they took them to 5. They took them to 6 or 7. 6. Something like that. Lakers swept them. Lakers swept the Pacers. Lakers really swept the 76ers because they beat the 76ers won game 1. Lakers won the next 4. So, just in case to make my argument even clearer, swept the Pacers. Did they sweep the Pacers? Or the Pacers took them to 5? It's a great question. I think they swept them. I'm going to say they swept them. I'm 100% sure, for the sake of argument, they swept them. I got to double check that. Let me see. Pacers. I hope if I spelled that right. Did they sweep them? I think they swept them. No, they didn't. It was 6 games. My bad. For the sake of argument, though, they swept the 76ers and they swept the Nets. Bulls never swept anybody in the finals. The Heat didn't sweep anybody in the finals. Golden State, I don't think swept anybody in the finals. And I don't even think Magic and Kareem swept anybody in the finals. I don't. I have to say, like, you got to be crazy if you think Shaq and Kobe are not the greatest dynamic duo of all time. Next is Scotty and Mike. After that, I got to give it to Kareem and Magic, and then Curry and Thompson and Wade and LeBron James. That's probably the most disappointing duo because they walked away with 2 championships. Like, those guys were supposed to have one more, and they loved each other. So it just goes to show you, lovey-dovey don't always win a championship. All right, it was a good argument. I liked it. I wasn't as passionate about it. Something about doing 3 shows and it may have something to do with that, or it's better when you can argue against someone. That's not an invitation for people to come join the show. I've tried that. Only one person that can do my show with me on a consistent basis, and that's the original host of the show, or the original co-host of the show, John Connie. That's it. He's the only person that I will have that talk with. Everybody else, I don't want to hear it. You're not going to do your homework. I already know it. All right, kids, if you're watching on YouTube and Facebook, hey, you're about to get the news. If you're listening on DJ Chase Radio, you already know it's time for the news. The podcast, don't worry about that. You don't need no news. But buckle up, kids, because you're about to get the best 4 minutes of news right here on Downright Sports. We'll be right back with news. All right, kids, it's time for the news. The best 4 minutes of news. Let's go. All right. Last night, the Colts, the Indianapolis Colts and its organization, their longtime owner, Jimmy Irsay, has passed away at 65 years old. Irsay took over the franchise in 1997. He would draft Peyton Manning. He would go to 2 Super Bowls, and the Colts, without a question, one of the premier teams in the NFL. And I wish him and his family, blessings, and wish them, the best. Moving on to the NBA. Anthony Edwards was fined $50,000 for cursing in a media press conference. I don't even know what the point is. The guy makes, what was that, $50? Major League Baseball, Justin Verlander is out on the DL. Verlander should probably consider. I know he wants 300 wins. I don't know if it's going to happen. What happened last night in sports? Let's go. In the WNBA, Paige Beckett, the number 1 pick, still looking for her first win, as her and the Wings would lose last night to the Minnesota Lynx, excuse me. Collier, 28 points, led the way, giving Minnesota their win. In the NHL, the Dallas Stars would score 6 goals over the Oilers to take Game 1 in the Western Conference Finals. Game 2 will be on Friday. In Major League Baseball, games you should have watched yesterday, Yankees would win with a walk-off 4-3 over the Texas Rangers. Jason Domingo would hit the walk-off home run. He's the youngest player in the Yankee history to do so. The Mets would get back to winning as they beat the Red Sox 5-1. The Cubs would get their 30th win of the year, beating the Miami Marlins 2-1. All right, new segment I'm going to try. Games you can get drunk to. Starting right now at 12:30, the Yankees and the Rangers are playing. The Yankees are looking to sweep the Rangers. Some afternoon games out west, but evening for us. The Colorado Rockies are taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. The Milwaukee Brewers are visiting the Pittsburgh Pirates. The WNBA got a couple of early rematches. The Fever are taking on the Atlanta Dream. Fever lost the other day by 1 point. Clayton Clark and crew are looking to get their lick back. The Liberty are taking on the Sky as they visit Chicago and Angel Reese. In the NHL, Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals, the Florida Panthers are up, looking to go 2 games to none on the Carolina Panthers. And in the NBA, Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals, the Timberwolves are looking to get 1 victory over the Oklahoma City Thunder and steal 1 on OKC's floor. OKC won Game 1 in a blowout. That, kids, is the best news in 4 minutes. I'm pretty sure that might have been less. I'm not 100% sure. This is Downright Sports. We'll be back with more of the show. All right, so let's wrap this up, shall we? I want to go back to what I discussed earlier with the basketball game. What was the deal with Reggie Miller last night? Like John Condy he used to host his show and watches and gives me a lot to think about when he just makes me feel like how stupid I am sometimes. I posted like Reggie Miller don't seem like he got a whole lot to say except when the Pacers did something good. Connie said I jinxed the team, but it is true. Like I felt like I was watching a WWE match last night where like you had the heel announcer. TNT. I understand this is your last go. You want your best crew. I preferred Chris Webber over Reggie. There's no disrespect to Reggie. I think Reggie is a great player, a great analyst. He does not need to be on this game at all because his bias is all over the place. Anytime something would happen in the game, and oh, that's the Pacers ball. Like, good grief, TNT. I thought this was an unbiased play-by-play, and I didn't know I was watching Fox News. I just want to know, what are we going to do about this, TNT? As a lifelong Knicks fan, I'm here to tell you, New York play-by-play is not like this. You watch a Yankee game, Michael Kay is as critical as the Yankees, as somebody from another place. The Mets, the same. There is no like local football or anything like that. I'm just want to know, in my congressional hearing that I called for earlier, I want this brought to the agenda too after we figure out why the damn team's sneakers and hands were so slippery last night. Why is Reggie Miller allowed to call that game and call it as biased as he was? I'm just saying, kids, if old Uncle Brent here was calling a game, I don't have any children, but if I did, I'm here to tell you, I'm not going to be able to sit there and call my child's game unbiasedly, where I'm just like, well, Brent Reid just missed that shot there. No, I'm like, come on, man. Like, there were moments, I've listened to Reggie call games before. I ain't never heard him this quiet. He was, like, you could even feel like Stan Van Gundy was like, do I speak here or do you speak here, Reggie? And Reggie was just like, yeah. Like when the ball went out of bounds, it bounced off of Brunson's hand. I thought it bounced off of Halliburton's hands. Reggie Miller before anybody. Oh, yeah, Knicks touched that. Okay, Reggie, I hear you. What I'm saying is, I don't like it. He didn't do anything wrong. I just don't like it. And I'm not a fan of it. And I want it gone out of my playoffs. I feel like Reggie Miller is a bad juju right now. He is. Like, last year, he called the damn Knicks game in the playoffs and the Knicks lost. Like, I want him removed. The Knicks right now, if they had an owner that cared about the product, he would be up. George Steinbrenner would not have allowed. I didn't know lotion was in the show the whole entire time. I had for those of you listening on the radio, my hands get dry and I put lotion on, but I try not to have it in the shot of the show on YouTube and the clips later, and it was just sitting right there, and I just realized it's all good. I'm black. My hands get ashy. I digress. All right. George Steinbrenner would not let Ted Williams call a Red Sox Yankee game, okay? He would not let fill in the blank crap Red Sox player call a Yankee game. This is absurd, and I don't like it. All right, let's talk about something else, all right? Because I just need, if you want to know the truth, I needed to kill like 5 minutes. So, the Yankees, do they have new young guns? Aaron Judge is in his 30s. He's killing. He's batting over 400. Almost June. He's hitting over 400. He's got 1,600 yards on home runs. Great. But now the Yankees got Jason Domingo and Ben Rice. And boy, oh boy, they look like they could be. The Yankees already had added, what is his name? Andy, I forgot his name. The shortstop. That's how irrelevant he is to me half the time. But he plays okay. I can't think of his name. Anyway, Yankees got some young talent. Now, young pitching, that's to be desired. But they got, if Gills gets back from his injury, that's a young pitcher the Yankees got. But the Yankees got some young talent. And I'm really excited to see where this could go. Because one thing about young talent is they can go one or two ways. Anthony Volpe, that's his name. Young talent can go one or two ways on teams. If your team is good, they have time to develop. If your team is bad, they got to get good. They have to get great fast. And in the case of the Yankees right now, they're having a pretty solid season. They're better players. Their older players are playing fantastic. So now you can get guys like Ben Rice, who's hitting 252 with 10 home runs. You can have guys like Austin Wells, who needs to pick up the bat a little bit better. He's batting 200. I don't like it. I want to see him hit better. But Jason Domingo's hitting 241 with 6 home runs. He just hit a walk-off last night. Trent Grissom, 268, 12 home runs. Yankees are having a surgence of young, good, up-and-coming talent that I'm just going to say I'm excited to see. And I'm still not going to give Brian Cashman credit until the Yankees win the World Series beyond the George Steinbrenner years. The last World Series, George was alive. He wasn't active, but George was alive. And I'm curious to know, can he do it without him? And now George, that's a hit. I got the Yankee game on. Yankees playing this afternoon. But anyway, I think the Yankees got some young guys. I'm curious to see if Jason Dominguez, I call him Dominguez could turn into Lou Gehrig to Aaron Judge's Babe Ruth. Because Gehrig joined the team. Ruth was towards, I think he had like a couple more years left. And, Judge's going to be around for a little bit longer. But the Yankees are going to need young talent that can protect Judge in the lineup for years to come. And when Judge starts to get slower and slow down, because it's going to happen. It happens to everybody. The Pittsburgh Pirates, though, who I don't think I've ever talked about on this show. But I wanted, one, when you're doing a week worth of shows, you got to fill up a lot of time. And kids, if you never listened to talk radio before, this is what happens. So, the Pittsburgh Pirates have not been good for a long time. And I couldn't tell you the last time they made it to the playoffs. But the Pirates are a historical franchise. I don't know what their owner's doing. I was a big fan of Andrew McCutchen. I'm still a fan of Andrew McCutchen. But the Pirates are 17-33. They don't seem like they're going to get any better. But they have Paul, I forgot his name. Paul Skeens, I think his name is, the pitcher. The young pitcher who's he's solid. He's a stud. He's a workhorse. He came up last year and shocked the world. Paul Skeens, yeah. He shocked the world to the point where he started in the All-Star game. The Pirates have another good pitcher in their farm system. 22-year-old Bubba Chandler, who right now is 2-1 with an ERA of 2.17. I don't understand why he's still in the minor leagues. Call that boy up now. Your team needs a shot in the arm. He's your top prospect right now. And not to mention, he is one of the best based on baseball's 100 top prospects. He's number 2. Okay, 6'3", 118 pounds. He's been in the minor league since 2002. Last year, he went 10-4. 2 years ago, he went 10-4. Last year, he went 10-7 with 3.8 ERA. This is a young man. You need something. Unless the Pirates don't want to win, which I think it goes to what I talked about on Monday, is Rob Manfred, if he had a pulse. And that's where baseball, I think, messes up, because baseball has something very unique